The countdown.
Yeah, man. All right, good
Grizzly
eve.
talk.
Yeah, all right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Coach's Corner. As always, we got our two coaches, Coach Brown and Coach Jean. Fellas, how you doing tonight?
Good. It's a great day to
Yeah.
be a Grizzly.
Yes, sir. Doing well, Shady. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, guys. I can't really complain at all.
Good. Good.
Cannot
Yeah, we're
complain at
good. It's
all.
always good the day before game.
Right.
Yeah, the closer we get to game day, the better we are.
Right.
Yeah. So I think since the last time we talked, uh, a lot has changed. We went from 2-0 to 2-3. Uh, with us going into a new league, we're still learning all of the rules, and there were some technical difficulties with the paperwork that cost us a forfeit. And then we lost two games in overtime. So that has us sitting at 2-3 with the game tomorrow against Hub City, who we just took the overtime loss to last Sunday. So that gives us an opportunity to, see a team a week later that we just lost to on the road in overtime, and they're coming to our place on Saturday. And Hub City is a pretty big game from us. Rolling over from last year from the ABA, where we played two tough games against them also. Uh, so they own us right now. We haven't beat them yet, and they're a pretty solid team.
Yeah, yeah, most
Great
certainly.
guard. Great guard play.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that the players and the fans was very passionate and they wanted that competition. They've been circling that calendar to play against us for a minute.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's kind of like our new big rivalry that's kind of
Yeah.
followed us from the ABA. So look forward to it because, like you said, it's always a good competitive game. It's actually a fun game to coach and watch. But they definitely make us work. So looking kind of to revenge that loss tomorrow and just get back on a winning track playing Grizzly basketball. I think if you go back looking at the film from that game, we did a lot of great things in spurts. Uh, and as we always talk about, it's all about possessions and good and bad possessions. And there were just a couple of possessions where just decision making uh, could have been better. That would have definitely made a difference in the game. So that's constantly something that we're talking about and trying to get better at. It's just managing and thinking the game as we play it. Uh, and I think, like I said, the fact that both losses in overtime speaks to how close we are. So we got to get better with that. Got to learn how to close and finish those games in overtime.
Especially in overtime. One one possession, one bad possession, and then a good possession on the other end. That's a 4 or 5 point swing. And that's what we got hit with, right? Going right into overtime. They hit two, we missed two, and they came back and hit three. That was a 5 point turnaround right there. And it
Yeah,
kind of set the tone for the overtime. And once we dug that last hole, it was hard to get out of that, especially they had the momentum and the crowd on their side.
definitely,
So we
definitely.
got we got to avoid those type of momentum swinging. If they get a stop and we get a stop, it's okay. But when they get a stop and then they come down and score three, that could easily turn a overtime game around completely.
Definitely, definitely.
That's what they hit us with. Right into the overtime. Well, I think we started out all right.
Yeah,
We just had too many dull moments.
Yep,
When
yep.
you on the road, you can't have those dull moments on the road because any momentum you give a team on the road,
Hmm.
their whole supporting cast, they can play on the road. I mean, they can play at home.
right.
A lot of those guys that score 6, 8 points at home, they'll be here this weekend and they won't even score. You won't even know they're on the team. But that hurt us when we let all the backup dancers score a lot of points, and their starters didn't hurt us. It's really their backup dancers what killed us.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime. bench play is vital, uh, and especially for the home team. Uh, you let the bench players come in and get some success, and they get that momentum behind them from the crowd. It's tough. They had a couple of shots that under normal circumstances I don't believe they were hit. I think there was one shot, coach. We had played great defense and think it was down to maybe 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah,
And they heave up a three and it goes in off glass.
off the backboard.
And it was a big shot. It was right there at the
Hmm.
end of the game. And I'm just thinking, wow, you know. But they always say the game requires a little luck along with your skill, and that was definitely one that I think if we gave him that shot 5 more times, I don't know if he could bank it in again.
Right, right, right. I think he was a role player too. I can't remember the face. I remember the play. But I don't think he was a starter. The guy that hit that shot. That was a big shot.
Yeah,
Late in the shot clock, and he threw that up, and that I could see that sucked the energy out of our defense right there.
right. Yeah, he definitely. It definitely was a momentum changer, and like you said, he was one of the backup dancers. So again, uh, those are some of the plays and things that we want to get better about is not allowing that supporting cast to come in and have that much success against us. Um, and to counter that, our bench actually played well. Uh, when we look at the stat sheet, I think we had 36 points off of the bench, coach.
Right.
Uh, which anytime you get that type of production from your bench is great, uh, supporting when you can get that type of points, especially. Uh, Sometimes there are things that are done that don't show up on the stat sheet. I think will help us and benefit us more moving down the line. Uh, the more confidence you give your role players, you would expect them to be able to score and show that skill part. But now it's understanding time and situation of the game, uh, flow of the game, and what's needed when you come in the game and you're giving a starter, a couple of minutes more to catch his breath. So I think as we define those roles and situations better, again, something that'll only make the team grow a little bit more.
And the bench has to get stops while they're in there. They scored 36 points, but the other team might have scored 36 while they was in there also. So
Right.
we got to get not only from our bench but also our starters. We're really struggling right now on the defensive end. I think that game we put up 136 or something like that was the final score that we had
I think
130 something.
the score was, I believe,
Yeah, I think it was.
132 to 138, coach.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
we're putting up big points, but we're not stopping people that could be stopped. It's not really tough. This team has some good players, but they weren't the kind you say that, well, nobody probably would have stopped him from getting that 30 or 20. Well, a lot of people out there could have been shut down if we would have played a little defense. So we got to get better at the defensive end because we can score with any team in the league offensively. We can match points with anybody, but defensively, we're giving up too many easy baskets and too many letting teams go on too many runs. We I think we suffered like a few 8-0 or 10-0 runs during that game. And then we fought back. I think we're down 13 and fought back to within three. We did a run ourselves, but we got to stop. We got to stop teams from making those kind of runs on us because then we got to stop digging out the hole.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, it's funny when you can see a pattern kind of developing and you try to hit it off before it gets too far, and sometimes that's something that subconsciously sets in. You feel like you're able to make those runs and come back on teams because you've done it so many times in the past. But then you get in a particular game and you meet a team that's hitting their shots, and it's a little bit tougher to get over that hurdle. So I think this was one of those games that we could speak to that kind of caught up with us. So kind of like you said, once you identify that flaw, you gotta do everything you can to fix it. Because like you said, because it's subconscious, you could almost find yourself in that scenario every game. So that's one thing that we're trying to do is just like you said, have better, consistent starts and and just be solid in what's making us successful on the court. Like you say, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, going down out the gate. The first three games, I think we started from behind. I think the last two games, I think we kind of hung in, the first quarter. And, granted, we was coming off a back-to-back tough game, but this team was beatable off a back-to-back tough game. So, we
Definitely.
still should have beat them off a tough game. And until we get players to really lock in on defense, then we're going to struggle defensively, and it's going to like that time is going to show up on the scoreboard. But we got a lot of people that can lock down on defense. It's just a matter. You can't save all your energy for offense, and not play no defense because you're just driving around in neutral. So we
Right,
got to get that mentality, and I think my coach and myself we're going to drill that mentality in them. I mean, it ain't going nowhere. So we're going to keep drilling that mentality in them until we get it right.
Yeah, I mean the thing is about
yeah,
overtime within this particular league that we're playing is it's only 5 minutes, so it's not really a lot of time, and every possession you got to make good decisions from start to finish. So it's not just okay, we got to play well defensively, but it's also about just making really good decisions every step of the way. So it's a process. Like I can definitely see that it is a process.
Yeah, we one thing
yeah.
we learned. Go ahead, coach.
Have a thing. Yeah, I was going to say we have a thing that you know mistakes are a part of the game. Uh, but as long as they're positive mistakes where you're trying to make a play for your teammate or yourself, we can live with that. But it's the mistakes where you're not focused or it's a hustle play and those mistakes occur is where we kind of have a little disconnect. So, you know, not that we expect you to play perfect, but just make sure that your errors or your mistakes are limited to something that you're trying to be productive in versus like I said, from the other standpoint, you're not locked in, you're not focused, uh, and or you don't know your assignment. Those are the
Hmm.
kind of mistakes that can can ruin a team, ruin especially, you know, when you're in a new league and you don't know the history of these teams, you got to take advantage of those small leagues and try to make them bigger leagues, and not give them back because, like you said, it is a game of runs, and once that momentum swings, it's hard to find that flow and rhythm to get back to where you were.
Yeah, it's almost like resetting. One thing we got to do is we got to start winning the 50-50 balls. We got to start getting more of those. With the speed we have on the team, we should average more than 4 or 5 steals a game. Those are some of the things that we got to use to our advantage because we are quick. But if we don't win those type of battles, then those are the differences. One extra steal, we don't even go into overtime. One steal in the basket, there is no overtime. Or one 50-50 ball that we should have got, there is no overtime. Now them guys, I was going to say, coach, I think we learned that them guys that get out there and fight with the best of them. We had one guy out there on one leg, Nick. Nick's out there on one leg, and Tim Tim's coming off about 50 minutes of basketball within 2 days. Him and Jarris.
Yep.
But sometimes you got to protect players from themselves. Because they'll stay out there till they drop dead.
Right.
Trying to win the game. But it wasn't good to
Definitely.
just leave them
Definitely.
out there. We seen that they were tired, and only thing would have came after that is a serious injury. So, we had to go to almost forced to go to our bench, and
Yeah. And we'll admit, there were some plays made off the bench. Donovan Robinson came in and hit some big shots, in particular, two threes, and then actually a layup at the buzzer to send the game in overtime. Uh, and the crazy thing about that play is one referee blew the whistle for and one, which was overturned by the lead official, which is still baffling to me that that could happen. Uh, but yeah, Donovan definitely came in and gave us a lift, and that was actually his second game with us. Uh, so feel like the better as he gets a little bit more acclimated with the offense and gets in a little better shape, uh, he's definitely going to be an asset for us moving forward. Uh, Avery Green was another one that came in and had a couple of plays down the stretch that were critical. So, like I said, we're getting some contributions from our bench. We just needed to expand uh, over to the mental part of the game, and I think the stronger they get with that part, the better you'll see our team become.
And also, Ronald, I think he had an aha moment this weekend too. Because he played some
Yes.
good minutes. He made some rookie mistakes, but he gave us some good minutes, and I really think that was the confidence boost that he needed. Going into the rest of the season. He's a young player. Probably haven't played basketball at this high level. I know he played college basketball, but he came in and gave us some good minutes. Made some rookie mistakes, but he came in and gave us some great minutes. And if we get that every time he hits the floor, he's gonna be a good one for us. I'm looking forward to what he's gonna bring to the team, not only this season, but in the seasons to come.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think watching him grow is going to be fun. Physically has everything you want, and then like you said, very coachable, and wants to get better. So when you see that in a player, it's easy to feed and give him as much as he wants to show up to get better. And like you said, I think games like this only helps his confidence grow uh, when he can see some success on the court, but at the same time, like Coach said, just because he's still young, he will make a rookie mistake, but he's got an attitude that he wants to make up for it. So he's not one that gets down on himself and it affects the rest of his game. So that's a good thing from a young player because a lot of time, if it's one facet of the game that they're not good at, sometimes it rolls over into another part of the game. So that's something that I haven't seen from him. So that's definitely a positive.
yeah. He's a very cheerful individual. He's funny. He likes to laugh, has good energy. So I can definitely see that correlated to the game. And I feel like, with that tough loss that happened last Sunday, I think he's really going to take that loss and use it as motivation moving forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we got to get production from. If you look at those three, I don't know. I think you might have went 9 deep Saturday, 9 deep Sunday with those three, and
I think he did. I think he did.
Yes, I think it
yeah,
was 9 or 10, Coach.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we're a 10 deep team if everybody just bring what we asked them to bring to the table. We're some of our players are having identity crisis to where they're trying to do a job that we didn't hire them for. And coach put this team together based off what everybody can do. We didn't need 10 people to get 40 because we know we ain't gonna score 400 points.
that's right.
Somebody got to get some assists, somebody got to get some rebounds, somebody got to shut somebody down, somebody got to get some steals, somebody got to come in and get this guy a break. And if you hire for that job, if you do that job, then coach knows what he's putting you in the game to do. But we need a defensive stop, and you get in the game and you're trying to score 6 points. That ain't what we needed. So we just got to get people to buy into the role that we ask them to do. And all roles don't look pretty, but all roles keep you on the team.
That's
If you
right.
look around the league, there's some players around the league that you never hear about. But when you look in the box score, he done held this guy to 6 points, or he had 5 steals. because that's what that guy was hired to do, and granted he's making millions to do it, but if he wasn't doing the job the coach hired him to do, he wouldn't be on that team. So we
That's
got to
right.
get people to buy into the role, and if you play defense, you'll get rewarded with offense. But some people just see that backwards, and they come in and come off the bench trying to score. We know that's not your game. That's why we didn't hire you to do that. So just do what
Yeah,
we hired you to do, and then you'll be an important piece to the puzzle, and you'll stay on the floor longer.
yeah, yeah. The one thing I can remember a coach saying to me, and I think is the greatest compliment that you can give a player is you accept your role and you're coachable. Uh, when you do those two things, uh, there's only room to grow. A coach is not going to ask you to do anything you're not capable of. Uh, but I think when he gives you just a basic role that he wants you to fulfill, I think you should try to exceed that expectation uh, so that now it almost becomes contagious to the rest of the team. Like you said, just like negative things can spread, positive attitude and play can spread also. We like to say feed off the energy, bring that energy, uh, because it's not just your physical energy, it's your mental energy. And this
Mm-hmm.
game is so mental that I think sometimes we forget that and we just get caught up in the action on the court. But when you really focus on, the thought process and the preparation, then you can see the results on the court. So that's one thing we like to try to say, that we practice hard enough that the game should be easy. Uh, and that way we're prepared and we're seeing everything that we're going to come up against. It's always a work in progress, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing we haven't seen or went over in practice.
Yeah, we're capable of beating anybody if everybody plays their role. We've got all the roles filled, but we don't have people working in those roles.
Right, right.
We just get people to work in the roles that we ask them to fill. No team scores over 100 against us. Because during the tryouts, we've seen some people that can stop some people or at least harass some people.
Mm-hmm.
But then that player is not bringing that to the team concept.
Yep, yep.
Like I said, it doesn't look pretty, but it'll keep you on the team. One thing I learned as a coach is if people can't do the job you hired them to do, you got to find somebody else to do that job.
Right,
We
right.
don't have time to train you to be a car mechanic, and we hired you to be a car driver. We'll just go find a car mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Some people trying to do other stuff when we got enough car drivers. Just to do what we need you to do so this puzzle can get together and we can go and win a championship. But we really struggling in that area right now, and until we get the people to buy in, we'll be good. And they're going to buy in or they're going to buy out. But
Mm-hmm.
we're going to find that piece that we need to complete what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and it's not the NBA by far, but it is pro basketball. So the same guidelines and stipulations apply. So when there's a spot or maybe even two spots that you don't feel you're getting production from, or that confidence is not there, you know, as a coach, it's your responsibility to put your team in the best position to win. So when there are players out there that are sending tape in and they're looking to come play, or you hear about a player that maybe just got waived and they're looking for a new place to play, we have to be aware that to make our team better, to be that championship team we want to be. So sometimes the personal part comes into play. The love will always be there out for the court, but the business part of it sometimes comes into play, and that should always take precedent. And I think with that, you don't want the lines to cross or get blurred, because at the end of the day, the goal is to win. And
Mm-hmm.
you want to win with the best 12 or 15 that you can put together. And like you said, when everybody buys in, it's a lot easier. Uh, is it going to be easy? No, because anytime that you're coming together collectively trying to accomplish and reach a goal, you're going to have your hurdles. But to me, those hurdles and those tests are only preparing you and making you better to reach the final. So as we go along, are we going to disagree? Definitely. Are me and coach always going to see eye to eye? Nope. But one thing about it, we're going to discuss it between us and figure out what's the discord and how we can get on the same page for the benefit of the team. And when we look at it that way, it doesn't take a lot of time to move past it. We don't get stuck on it and we're wasting a lot of time. We're going to correct it, adjust it, and move on. So I think, like you said, when you're open-minded and it's a collective buy-in, it makes trying to, create that recipe. It makes it a lot easier.
And we're still right in the hunt. I mean, even with our record, if you look at the few teams ahead of us, one of them we hadn't played, the Red Sharks or whatever they are.
Red
But
Roses.
the other teams we either beat or we lost in overtime.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we just got to hold on. If we hold on, we'll be the best team when it's time to be the best team.
That's right.
So we're not out of this thing. It's a lot of basketball to be played, but we can't do any more losing.
Yeah.
So we have to get. There is a sense of urgency, but there's no need to panic.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of basketball to be played, and we're still in the hunt to win this division. Based off the teams that are in our division.
Definitely.
Right. The team that's currently in first place right now is the Red Rose Thunder. Currently sitting at 4-1. We're currently sitting at 2-3. But yeah, we still within shooting distance. The reason why that's important is because looking at the way how this league is constructed, within our division, the top 6 teams are eligible for the playoffs. We're currently sitting at number 6 right now. But winning some games and having some things go our way, we'll be right back where we need to be. So it's very important, for us to know that moving forward.
Yeah, the adversity now is just gonna make us stronger when it comes time to for playoff or can't lose basketball. I think we'll be better in the long run from the setbacks we're suffering right now.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I always say, the season is not won in the first month. And like Coach said, there's a lot of basketball left to be played. There's only one team that we played twice, and we actually beat them both times. But actually, one of the games, one of those wins was actually forfeited. So from that standpoint, we beat that team on the road and at home. Now it's the teams that have beat us that when we go to see them, which is a Shockers, and then with Hope City coming back to us this weekend, with us securing that win this weekend, that means we'll split with them. And like you said, that puts us in a perfect position to go down the stretch of the season and solidify ourselves as one of those top 6 teams. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. And I also like having to play under that pressure because I think the bigger the game, the bigger your response should be. And if you can't handle that pressure, hey, that could be a sign. So I like having that added pressure of knowing that each game matters and what you need to do to control your destiny. I don't want to have to wait on another game and what these two teams do to decide where we finish. Let us solidify and earn the spot that we're going to be in. And then when the second season starts, let's be prepared and see what happens. And I love our chances.
Yeah, same here. I think especially that first overtime loss, I kind of felt that we're gonna have to write our own book here.
Mm-hmm.
After that loss, I said, you know what? We're gonna have to write our own book here. Either we're gonna play and get in, or we ain't gonna get in. But I know if we get in, we'll be fine. Cause we could play with anybody. I'm not worried about. I don't really worry about the other team that much.
Yeah,
It's kind of vice versa. Most coaches want to worry about the other team, but it depends on what team on the floor for us. Instead of vice versa. I know ain't no team more talented than us. More heart and all that than us, or a better coach than us. But we have to play to back that up. But just like we can beat anybody on any given night, if we don't play our game, we can get beat on any given night.
definitely.
So we have to bring that energy every game. And this hole we in right now got people thinking, I've done this, I've done that, but it seems like we got to do more. So a lot of people know that what you're giving us right now ain't enough.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
got to give us more.
So, and the good thing about it, I think we got a good group of guys with the right attitude. And again, like you said, you know, we come together for the goal on the court, but we're also conscious of their lives off the court and everything that they have going on. So, sometimes when you come in the gym, there could be, some personal things that you're dealing with that, like you said, not to dismiss them, but place them over here for 2 hours and come in the gym and free your mind and do your part to help your team get better. And it could, give you a different perspective to go back and deal with what you're dealing with off the court to get that taken care of. I always, like you say, you hear the term, it's not about game, it's about life. And at any moment, any situation, you're put in a challenging or competitive situation, you're under pressure, is all about your decisions. And your decisions are going to lead to your reactions. So, like we said, no one's problems or issue are bigger than the next person's, but it's personal to them and how they choose to deal with it. So I always say, confront it head on, accept the challenge, and claim your spot. And that's one thing we do. Like you said, even with the adversity, I don't think there's anybody that's wavering or ready to jump ship. We just want to make sure that, when we look left and we look right, that everybody's got that same fight and drive that we do. And I like you said, we're close. 2 overtimes losses. I don't believe in moral victories, but they're not 20-point losses. So, like you said, the ball could have bounced left or right in those 2, and we could be sitting here 4-1 with a forfeit. So, we're not going to dwell on that, but we definitely, as we move forward, just a different level of accountability, and like you said, exceed the expectation, do more than what you're actually doing, what you're able to do. And I think that's the start.
Yeah.
I think that's the start.
Start the game with the mindset that you had when you left the last game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially after that overtime loss we just had. If we bring that mindset, how we felt when that horn went off, to the start of the next game, then we should blow them out.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a different result this weekend. They got film on us and we got film on them.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage we have is they haven't seen all our actors.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll have an additional actor this week that will definitely help neutralize a lot of things that they were doing. So we should play a better game this weekend.
Definitely. I suggest if you're in the area, Legacy Park, centrally located from Richmond in the Fredericksburg area, you're going to see a great basketball game. A lot of respect for Hub City. And like you said, after this overtime loss to them on Sunday, and I went back to watch the film, I was like, man, it was a great game for the fans to watch. So I expect nothing different this Saturday. And like you said, when there's, you know, the playing field is uneven and you're trying to even that score up, makes for good basketball. So definitely either tune into the live stream or take the 20-minute, 15-minute drive and come on up 95 and check us out. But definitely gonna be a good game.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't this one you don't want to miss.
nah, not at all. If you want to watch the game via live stream, though, you do have to purchase the e-ticket, which is posted on the Fredericksburg Grizzly Facebook page. There's a link for the event to where you can tune into that. Tickets would be $10. But like Coach Brown said, if you want to see it in person, yeah, come to Legacy Park Sports and around 7 o'clock p.m. Well, you should probably get there around 6:30. But regardless, it's going to be a great game nevertheless.
When is the link coming down? They have until when to purchase the link?
I think they have until 6 p.m. on Saturday. So we definitely want to give people a chance because I know like some people they don't want to go out because of COVID. So we want to be respectful towards them.
Definitely. And if
Great,
you
great.
come out, we know we practice protocol,
Yep.
checking temperatures, masks are required, and the seating is spaced so that you do have your own personal space. So we're definitely following the protocols, trying not to be a part of the pandemic and create any additional cases. So,
Exactly.
well, besides our basketball, we're at the Final Four this weekend for the NCAA men's.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
I can't
and the
imagine many
women.
people have this Final Four. If anyone picked this Final Four, they definitely had a psychic, a system, because this has been
Yeah,
a
yeah,
crazy
really.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
Any
What what
predictions
what,
on
what team
wins?
was you surprised got out? Or that ain't in the Final Four?
Michigan.
Uh, I really expected to see Michigan in the Final Four.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, and it's funny when you look at the game that they took the L in. Uh, I think if you could look at it, you could say it really came down to decisions. It wasn't necessarily bad plays, just the decision-making process down the end that cost them. But yeah, I was definitely expecting to see Michigan. And also uh, thought Illinois would make a little deeper run. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was Michigan too when I seen that they lost, but they missed their last 8 shots. You can't do that in Elite Eight. You can't do that in the 64. I
yeah,
mean, you might get by, depends on if it's a 1 and a 16 seed.
right.
But yeah, that goes to show you that every possession counts.
Yeah. Now
Every possession counts.
you're talking about 8 straight possessions without a bucket. So even if that team scores every other possession, you're looking at least at a minimum of 8 point swing there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that
So
killed them right there.
who do you have winning it all, Coach?
I gotta go with Gonzaga, man. Them boys. I don't think nobody want none of them, man. They play a good basic basketball, man. Nothing fancy. They play possession by possession. Now that team plays possession basketball.
They do.
They don't have too many empty possessions,
Mm-hmm.
and that's those type of teams are winning now. Team playing possession basketball.
Yeah, I believe that they have been the most consistent team all year.
Yeah,
And like you said, basic team basketball, and it's hard to beat uh, when you play the game that way. And Gonzaga looks like they could beat you from a number of different spots. It's not uh, locked into one or two players. They could beat you from a couple of different spots. So I think this is definitely the year for a mid-major to come through.
yeah.
Can
Who
can
you
you
got, Shady?
can you really call Gonzaga a mid-major even though they're
Mid
not
Mays?
part
Yeah,
of even though they're not part of the Power Six conference? Because I feel like Coach Few, just got a knack for like really getting his players on board. But with that being said, Coach, yeah, I got Gonzaga too. Gonzaga, they average roughly 92.3 points per game. And with the exception of one game, which was single digit, they actually beat their opponents by at least 20 points. So it ain't just, okay, we're just going to play good offense, but we're going to beat you defensively. And every game that I've seen them play, 1 through 5, even the benches player, they come up with the mentality saying, all right, cool, we're going to bust you upside your head, have fun. And that's pretty much what they do. So if you're from the Spencer-Hand, Washington area, you're having a ball. But if you're playing against them, it's a rough night in the office. But yeah, I got Gonzaga going, win the chip, probably against Baylor, and then more likely I got UConn for the women, also
Yeah,
winning
yeah,
the
me too.
chip as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's a foregone conclusion at this point.
yeah. South Carolina's tough, but I got UConn women too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that would be a great final.
yeah,
I'm not sure if they're opposite of each other where they could end up. I believe they are, uh, and I think that game could be a toss up.
hmm
If I had to choose somebody in that game, I guess I would go with UConn because of pedigree and history. But Don is doing a great job with South Carolina, and I really think, like you said, they got a good chance of stealing one. Uh, Connecticut's got a really special player in Paige, and I don't want to pronounce her last name right. I think it's Brewers, but
yeah. She tough. Yeah,
she
freshman.
is tough as nails, and to be a
Yeah,
freshman playing that way just speaks volumes to her game. And fun to watch, very fun to watch.
Fun
now,
fact.
before we get off of here, though, and since we're having a coach's corner, what do you think about my man leaving North Carolina, retiring?
Ah, jeez.
Man,
Wow, Roy, that's a
coach,
that's a legend on the sideline right there.
with me being a Tar Heel fan, that one hit pretty hard. Uh, that's going to be tough to replace.
Yeah,
Great coach, great mentor, greater man, and you know the last part of that coaching tree that was tied into Coach Smith has stepped down. So it's definitely uh, going to be a different era of Carolina basketball moving forward. It's interesting to see, who we'll bring in, if it'll be somebody from the family or someone outside. So I'm looking forward to see what the next move is with that one. But definitely uh, big loss, big loss.
yeah,
Like a
yeah,
coaching legend, and definitely going to miss him.
yeah, yeah. I don't know who comes behind. I wouldn't want to go behind those shoes right there. He did a good job coming in behind uh, uh,
Dean Smith.
Matt,
Dean Smith. Because Roy was good under Dean, and then he went out to Kansas and he did good. But you
right,
you got to
right,
bring whoever come got to bring some credentials. You got to bring some credentials with you when you come. You can't just be you took a program to the Elite Eight or you rebuild this program. You got to have that championship pedigree when you come into
right.
Carolina.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, 903 wins, third most winningest coach of all time, 3 national
Wow.
championships. Anyone who is very familiar with the ACC understands the importance of that whole UNC Duke rivalry. It's one of
Yeah.
the best rivalries in college basketball, and I'm not gonna lie, man. College basketball is just not gonna be the same without him.
Nah.
Even
Especially not the ACC.
Yeah, even the
Yeah.
rivalry is not going to quite be the same because now I see, Mike Sussesi, it's kind of like that main person from the ACC. And yeah, it's going to be some big shoes to fill, whoever takes that next job at UNC at Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
it's
have
that.
no recommendations for it.
Look, I can't even sit here and think of one person that comes to the top of the mind to say he would step right in and do a great job. I know King Rice is out there. He coaches, and I know Buzz Peterson is coaching also. But this is going to be an interesting move to see which
Yeah,
direction they go in.
yeah, yeah. That's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, very interesting. And to shift gears from the college game to the pro game, the Nets signed another player today.
Ah, jeez. Another
But I
one.
told him I'm not coming out of retirement, so it wasn't. The contract was never finalized.
Oh man, coach, you
Look,
Hey,
got me.
coach,
You
when you
I
talk
said,
about roles, though, remember we was talking
hey,
about roles.
definitely.
Just look at those guys. Blake Griffin is not going to be Clippers Blake Griffin, and Aldridge is not going to be Spurs Aldridge.
That's right.
So they have to play a role. Now imagine if them guys get there and they're not content with a role. That should have already been talked about before they signed. But imagine if they're not content with the role.
Right.
It's
Right.
gonna kill everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna kill everything. That's a
Yeah.
perfect example right there of somebody who used to be a star on another team. You're gonna be a role player on this team. But if you do that
Exactly.
role good, you'll be on the championship team.
Yeah.
That's
And,
a
and
perfect example.
it doesn't change what you need to do on the court. It's only a change in your mental approach. And if you can't adjust that mental, then like you said, it's destruction. It's a recipe for destruction. So,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I think you know, for those guys that have been go-to players on their team and now at this point in their career, and whatever the situation is with teams buying players out now, you know, to me that is just a pool for your playoff teams to pick from. So, you know, I don't have a problem with either of them signing with Brooklyn because they want to get a ring. If you got to buy out and you can go to whoever you want to, who are you gonna go to? Are you gonna go to the Memphis Grizzlies or are you gonna go to the Brooklyn Nets? You want a chance to play for that ring. So in that aspect, I don't have a problem with it. The narrative is uh, all of this to beat LeBron. Uh,
Pretty much.
Whether that's the case or not, at the end of the day, you still have to play the game. The
Yeah.
Lakers signed Drummond, which I think is huge and will help them. Definitely gives them some rebounding and a presence in the middle there. But again, last year's final, the Lakers definitely beat Miami, but Miami wasn't completely healthy. And I just wonder if Dragic hadn't got hurt and then Bam hadn't missed the games, would that outcome have been different? So now with all of the additions and changes this year and the injuries that the Lakers are going through, hypothetically with this time that they're missing, and then they're coming back, quote unquote, they're going to be fresh, but you have to account for the rhythm and timing. But with the moves that Denver made, Denver's
Oh
tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Denver's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
So
Eric
it will be
Gordon.
interesting, and even the Clippers signing Rondo,
Yeah.
that's huge. So the playoffs should be very interesting to see what happens. So if the Nets are gearing up to beat LeBron and they don't beat him in the finals, I guess they were just picking up players to make their team better at the end of the day. And we'll see where it ends. But I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Drummond, though, he's currently injured with a big toe injury for the Lakers.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eric Gordon with the Denver Nuggets is already starting out to pay some big dividends with Murray and the Joker, along with Porter Jr., which he's starting to come up. Dallas, they was able to pick up J.J. Redick, the sharpshooter from New Orleans, with Luka Doncic and Porzingis, so that's going to be fun to watch. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, of course, Rondo back in the LA area, but this time for the Clippers. should definitely change the tone for that team for sure. So it's going to be
Yeah, it'll be a good
exciting.
one.
Yeah, yeah. Also, good news, Coach Brown. Your boy Joel Embiid should be coming back relatively soon.
Yes, yes. And surprisingly enough, we played well with him out. We didn't struggle as much as I thought we would. So that's actually a great sign. And I
Mm-hmm.
attribute that to Doc Rivers and coaching that to miss a piece like that and you really don't miss a beat speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna help him out in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, good talk, guys. Enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Time to go back into game mode. Get ready for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go through the mental preparations one more time and wake up ready to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is like you said. This is not a playoff game, but it definitely feels like one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're gonna see who we are tomorrow.
definitely.
That's
Definitely.
tomorrow. Who we are tomorrow is gonna be who we're gonna be. I mean, granted, we still got pieces coming in, but it'll help if we can win before that.
Definitely. 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 And I think we got a bye next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like you said, with some of the changes that we have coming up after this weekend's game, when we hit the court again, you would definitely see a team that with a few changes that I think that going to definitely help make us a lot better and strengthen us where we want to get better at. And again, like you said, just looking forward to the journey and just competing to finish the season strong. So, but 2 and 3 definitely wasn't what we were looking for, but it's a reality. And now, like you said, it's time for us to take control of it and get it to where we want to be. And I think we're headed in the right direction.
That's it.
That's it. Grizzly talk.
That's it. Shay, you can close us online.
All right, guys. So that's all we have for this evening. Like we said before, you can see us either in person or you can see us online. The game will start 7 o'clock against Hub City. With that, we thank you for your time, and we'll see you guys in the next
And
one.
where's the link at before you go, Shay? Where's the link at?
Oh, right. The link, once again, is on the Facebook page on Fredericksburg Grizzlies. You should see it under events. And the directions are relatively simple. Go ahead and buy yourself a ticket if you can't come in person. But if you can come in person, please come into Legacy Park Sports because we definitely need your support. And we need the crowd noise for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Good stuff. All right, gentlemen, we look forward to it, and definitely look forward to Grizzly talk next week, but definitely looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Indeed.
All right. See you up there. What time you coming up?